Are we good on this now? We're on? Should I say Facebook or not say Facebook then? Good afternoon. This is Mayor Bob Everson in City Hall. I've had a lot of questions regarding the coronavirus and the city's reaction to it. First of all, I want to say we are streaming this on YouTube and Facebook. And if you have questions, you can ask them in the comments section of that, and we will do what we can to answer those questions. You can also send an email to slwine@cityofmitchell.org, and we will get those emails and try and answer those questions as they come in as well. First of all, let me say what we have in Mitchell is we do have 2 cases of the coronavirus confirmed. They are travel related. There was a 3rd case. A Pennington County man was on his way back to Pennington County from Sioux Falls, where he flew in from outside of the state, became ill, pulled over, went to our hospital, was confirmed to have coronavirus, and passed away in Mitchell. So we have had 3 technical cases here. We still have 2. Those people are quarantined. We do want you to follow CDC. We need to be aware of this. We need to be vigilant of this coronavirus. We need to follow CDC guidelines and South Dakota Department of Health guidelines. One thing that you need to do is work on distancing yourself from people, 6 to 10 feet. Wash your hands frequently for 20 seconds. They say if you say the ABCs while you're washing your hands, it gives you roughly 20 seconds. I've heard of you sing happy birthday twice to yourself. You get about 20 seconds. Use soap as warm a water as you can stand, and make sure you're practicing good hygiene. There's no reason to panic with this virus. We do need to be concerned about it, however, and we need to be vigilant, as I said. So follow just simple hygiene rules, and it will help not only your health, but the health of those around you. Right now in the city of Mitchell, we have declared an emergency. That was declared approximately a week ago. What we've done is we have closed the rec center, the James Valley Community Center, the library, and the ice arena to outside people. Those will remain closed for as long as the schools are closed. In this instance, today it was announced that the schools will be closed until May 1st and possibly longer, so those facilities will not be open to the public for that period of time. Other city facilities such as City Hall, Fire Department, they're open to the public, but not for public entry. In other words, if you need to do business there, you need to call ahead for an appointment. There'll be some screening questions most likely that you will be asked to make sure you're well and no issues with the virus before you're allowed to enter the facility. We're taking every precaution we can to keep the city employees healthy and things up and running with the city. That is part of why we're doing this. So the one exception of that is the garbage department, or excuse me, the city dump, which anybody can use. Obviously, if you need to get rid of refuse, you're able to go out there and do that. We do ask you to keep a distance from the workers out there so that if they're infected, they don't give you the virus, and if you're infected, you don't give them the virus. So we want to keep as many city facilities open as far as day-to-day business as we can. We have been on a conference call. Today was the last one, but the last 4 or 5 days, there's been several of them with the mayors, first-class mayors from the state of South Dakota, as well as the governor. The governor has issued an executive order backing the cities and what they do. She has also made recommendations on what businesses and facilities should do. That mainly looks at following the CDC guidelines and South Dakota Department of Health guidelines. You want to distance yourself from people, say 6 to 10 feet away. Wash your hands frequently, as I've already stated. If you feel ill, do not go out in public. If you need to be tested or feel you need to be tested for the virus, make sure you call ahead to the facility that you're going to be tested at so they're aware of your coming in. You don't want to show up, test positive for the virus, and end up exposing numerous healthcare workers to the virus and have them have to go into quarantine to find out if they're going to be ill or not. We're going to need as many of those healthcare providers as we can have working when this thing gets into a full-blown issue. As I said, do not panic, do not be alarmed, but be vigilant. Practice good hygiene. We do know there are 30 cases as of today in the state of South Dakota. As I said, 2 of them are here in Mitchell. Actually, the third one, they call Pennington County because that's the home where that person is from. That is thus far the only deceased person from the virus. We do have 14 cases in Huron, or Beadle County, excuse me. We assume that's Huron. It was found to be travel-related initially. They have since determined that there is community spread in Huron, or Beadle County. There is community spread in Hughes County, and there is community spread in Lyman County. Now, Hughes and Lyman County are showing only 1 case, but the reason they call that community spread is they are not able to tie that to travel. So those people with the disease got it somehow, obviously, and since it's not related to travel, that becomes community spread. With 1 person having it, it's not overly alarming yet. Huron, however, with the number they have gone into lockdown. So the city of Huron is locked down. You're not able to gather in areas. I can't speak totally for them, but they have pretty much put everybody into isolation and asked them to stay home and not get out into the public. One of the things we're going to do tonight at 6 p.m., there will be a special council meeting in the Corn Palace. At that special council meeting, we're going to review the first reading of an ordinance that would allow the closures in the city of Mitchell, should that become necessary. We're hoping it doesn't get to that. As I said, right now we are seeing travel spread, but if we do see it move to community spread, we will be having to take action. This allows us to do the first reading and have the 5-day span before the next reading so that we're ready to go. Should we start seeing community spread, we can go ahead and get things moving and do the necessary closures that we see fit to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. One of the things that has come to mind is we do have commuters from the Huron area coming down to Mitchell to work. One thing we have put out to the manufacturing community is that we recommend they do screening of employees coming into the facility. The screening would consist of asking health questions. Do you have a cough? Do you feel healthy? Checking them for a fever and requiring them to wash their hands. When they check for a fever, one of the things that Queen of Peace has been doing is when they check you for a fever, if your temperature is over 98.6, they have you sit down for a minute or 2 minutes, I believe. Then they'll recheck you, and if you are over 100 or over, you're required to leave. You're not allowed to enter the facility. That is one of the recommendations for the screening of employees that we've sent out to the manufacturing community, and we hope they follow it. It has not been mandated to follow this. It is a good practice. It's a good practice for anybody allowing customers and people into their facilities. So it's something that I would recommend people look at. We ask you to be diligent in working with people. This is going to be a very frustrating time, a very trying time over the next month to 2 months as this thing moves through the community in our state. As far as what we're ready to do tonight, as I said, we're going to have the first reading of the ordinance. If we need to, we will schedule a second meeting. Not if we need to, we will schedule a second meeting for Monday night. And that Monday night, we will determine if we're seeing community spread or we're still in the travel phase of this, and we may push the ordinance off. If we need to, we will close facilities in accordance with the ordinance to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. So with that, that's what we got. As I said, you want to be vigilant. You want to practice good health care or hygiene. If you're not feeling ill, or stay home. We have mandated the city employees, if they are sick or they have a loved one that's sick, they are to stay out of the facilities until they are either tested or a doctor says, hey, you're good to go. You don't have coronavirus from their loved ones. We're serious about preventing the spread of this. So with that, if there's any questions that have come in, we'll try and answer those.
We did have one question that was submitted on YouTube asking if the city is going to stop doing the automatic deductions for members at the rec center at this time.
We are working on how to handle that. Yes, it looks like we are going to be an well, it doesn't look like we are going to be an extended stoppage in inability to use that facility. So yes, there will be. The intent is to stop the automatic checking withdrawals for the period of time that the rec center is closed.
One of the other questions that we received was the Facebook Live did not work. We are aware of that. I will post the video from YouTube onto Facebook when it's complete. We will be live streaming tonight's meeting as well. Okay. We're hoping to both do YouTube and Facebook, but if Facebook is not working, I'll post that video the next day as well.
Okay, and as we said, it's in the Corn Palace, so we have some room to let people spread out to practice good social distancing.
We have another question here. How will we determine community spread when we are hearing all over the people are being turned away from being tested?
I can't answer why they're being turned away from being tested, but once we have the virus or people are showing positive with the virus and we cannot track it to travel or we do not know where it came from, that becomes community spread and that becomes the concern. I should point out that the people that come down from here, and there has been some question as to if they have it or not. In our conference call today with the governor and the Department of Health and the mayors, it was brought up about the immigrants coming down to various areas. The Department of Health confirmed that at this point there are no immigrants that have the coronavirus. So no immigrants in Huron that have the coronavirus. So at this point in time, their travel should not be consequential to anybody. You know, that's not to say that tomorrow things don't change, but today we do not have an issue with immigrants in the Huron area having coronavirus.
I'm not seeing any other questions coming through, and we don't have any by email either.
Okay. With that, thank you for your time today. Stay healthy and practice good social distancing.